Hello everyone. Once again, I'm back. What we've got today is another RS6000 that I picked up on eBay for a song, pretty much. I've got it for, I think, $30 shipped. This is obviously got the cover removed. This is an IBM RS6000, otherwise known as a PowerServer 230. I've never encountered one of these before. This is a very slimline model. If you remember the other ones that I was using, here's a height comparison. It's not quite a pizza box, but it's pretty darn close. Near as I know, it was made in '92. The vintage of the components is pretty much spot on. When I got it, it had a bad hard drive. I replaced that so far. It only had 16 megabytes of RAM. I got that up to 48. Getting the cover off is actually quite a pain in the butt. So I won't do an unboxing, if you will, unboxing, but I will show you what it looks like without that on there, and then I'll probably do a series of videos with it on. Like I said, I got it. The hard drive was no good. Getting the case off was kind of a pain in the rump. And I don't know if you could sort of see it. There's some tabs along here. There's an aluminum cover plate that goes over this as well. So far, it's a nice little machine. I don't know very many of the specs on it. If you check the comments in this video, I'll probably link to a IBM document site that talks about it. I'm pretty sure it's got a 66 megahertz processor. A 2.88 megabyte floppy drive. This is the first one of these I have ever personally seen. It's a shame because I don't believe I would ever use it for anything, and I'm not sure if you have to use a special 2.8 megabyte floppy or whatever, but there's no video card in this unit. I also got it. It had this sort of multi-protocol asynchronous serial adapter or something like that. It's got a very large, I believe, a 50-pin or 3-row serial connector on there, and I have added another card down here, a 10100 Ethernet, because this unit only has AUI Ethernet on it. It's got 2 serial ports, parallel port, keyboard, mouse, tablet, power. It's got the key switch. You know, how cool is that? LED display. We got a power or a reset switch here, and then the power. I've got it hooked into my IBM 3151 terminal. It's been working pretty good for that. Like I said, the hard drive was dead when I got it. I was able to get it going using a really cobbled together SCSI CD-ROM drive using a 50-pin SCSI 1 or 2. I forget exactly what. I think that's a SCSI 2 connector there. I think SCSI 1 is that sort of large parallel printer looking job. Well, anyway, the hardware is pretty unremarkable. I'll show you a little clip about some memory problems I had to begin with. But I would have done some more videos with the, that's kind of interesting. Seems like I might be able to, yeah, I can. There's a little tab down here that lets you kind of slide the drive in and out. Interesting. Oh, where was I? The Model 390 that I was doing videos of before unfortunately suffered a power supply failure. And I have been completely unable to find a replacement power supply. So I've been able to use a lot of the parts from that on this unit. Unfortunately, the RAM seems to be a big kind of hang-up. And I said I got 48 megabytes of RAM in here. It's got 8 underneath this plate. There's 8 SIM slots. I've got 6 8 megabyte SIMs. The 2 original from the 16, and I found 4 additional ones in my collection of stuff. 72-pin SIMs that look pretty much just like that. This is another 5th one out of the 4. I can't find its pair, and it's really difficult to read that, but that is IBM Branded Memory. I have been having a heck of a time finding RAM that works in this. And here's why. So this is a known good 8 megabyte SIM. And here, I'm going to find Because I have a whole pile of 32 megabyte 72 pin SIMs in various states of antiquity and other things like that. And what's interesting is I'm running into a situation that I've never encountered before with 72 pin SIMs. So this one obviously works. And what's important on this is on that 72 pin SIM, you see there's this notch down here on that side, so you get it oriented in the slot correctly. So if you kind of notice, that's kind of a tall notch in there. And I said, okay, that's kind of cool, you know, whatever. Now, correspondingly, excuse me, this is a 32 megabyte SIM. Notice the completely different number of chips on it. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is like some sort of parity RAM or a very old version of parity RAM or something like that. But if you notice, it also has that notch that's kind of a tall notch. So I was going through all this saying, hey, you know, I've got a lot of old IBM RAM. I ought to be able to find something that'll fit. And so I went through my collection and I dug up some of my other RS6000 parts from machines that have, you know, dead power supplies or whatever. And so what I found was, let's see here, this is a good example. So this is a memory carrier. There would have been 2 additional modules right in here, which I had taken out for this experiment. Now I'll pop one of these out of here. Because I said, hey, you know, these other machines, they've got just a pile of 16 megabyte modules, or 8 megabyte modules, or 32 megabyte modules. I can get this guy up to, you know, 256 megs of RAM, not 48. But if you notice, on this module, that notch is very, very small. It's not a very tall notch. If we kind of put these guys end to end here, you can see what I'm talking about in that height difference. Now, again, I don't know what that means. If anybody knows, comment for me, please. I'm trying to figure that out, and this seems to be missing or lost knowledge, what that means. Now, this could mean this is a special kind of server RAM. That's why it only works in these other RS6000s. But then that wouldn't explain, you know, if this machine takes normal RAM, why these other modules won't work. Now, it's not just these. I've tried 2 megabyte, I've tried 8 megabyte, 16 megabyte, 32 megabyte. Nothing else works except seemingly IBM Branded Memory. So I was sitting here with these modules and I said, you know what it probably is, just a manufacturing goof up or whatever, you know, they're fine, you know. So what I did, that board was missing too. Took my Dremel and I made the notch a little bit bigger. Didn't work. It throws a memory fault or memory error or something like that. Near as I can tell, it's not hurting anything. The system still works afterwards, but obviously now things are suboptimal. What also seems to be interesting is, yeah, you know, you would think, well, why the taller notch? You'd think that it had something to do with something. Near as I can tell, it doesn't. And I don't know how to search for that or Google for that or what, but, you know, I'm sitting here looking at a whole pile of 16 megabyte modules. Can't use them. They don't work in here. So, fun, right? So, I'm digging through like an old PS2 equipment or anything like that. I actually found these in a Apple machine that I had built, or rebuilt rather, years ago. So, you know, go figure. So, like I said, hardware-wise, this thing isn't terribly special. There's a little module. You can actually put a video card, almost like a planar video card, in the black plane of this guy, and I've been tempted to get that. It's about $35 on eBay. You know, what do? Do you spend money on something like this? I don't know. I've got plenty of other RS6000s, but, well, they don't have working power supplies anymore, you know, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But that's the deal with this guy. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to probably just show you the power-up sequence. I'm not going to show you an OS install, but I will probably go through and do a AX 4.3, because I have less than 64 megabytes of RAM, is the only operating system it can run. I suppose it could run 4.2 or 4.1, which only require 32 megabytes of RAM, but, well, who wants to run that, right? So, stay tuned for my next video, and thanks for watching.